Hey guys, welcome back to Premium Picks. Today we are going to break down UFC 306, Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili, Valentino Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso, also known as UFC The Spear. Overall, as a whole card, it's kind of an overrated card in my opinion. I'm sure everybody else is saying the same shit. But you know what? 10 fights. I don't mind the shorter card. Get to business right away and get to the good fights. And let's break down this card and we'll give you our favorite spots and favorite bets for the card. First fight of the night, we got Rosas Jr. versus Qileng. This feels like a setup fight to get the Mexican crowd going. Qileng has a puncher's chance. That's all he really has here. I don't think he's going to be able to knock that monstrous chin out on Rosas Jr. here. So I think Rual will get him down and he will submit him. Wouldn't shock me if it's early. Wouldn't shock me if he has to work a little bit and it takes a round or two. But either way, I think he's going to get the takedowns fairly easily here, to be honest. I think his last fight, Ricky Turquoise, has much better takedown defense than Aori Qileng. So I think it's a setup fight to get the crowd going. But the odds are just way too wide. It's not going to be something you play, but Rual Rosas Jr. rolls here. What do you think?
I think the same thing. I think he's going to get the takedowns. I think he's going to get to the back. I think he'll probably finish it. Iorli Qileng, he's known to be a little bit durable, so this might not finish like right away. Um, Only issue is Rosas Jr. is shown to have a little bit of a suspect gas tank as the fucking fight gets a little bit farther along. So I'm not going to try to be the guy to be taking Qileng or anything like that, but if the fight gets a little bit longer, like, I don't know, he might win the first two rounds, but what is he going to look like in the third round, right? If Qileng is durable, I'm not, I'm just being a conspiracy theorist here, because really, honestly, there isn't any good odds on this fight. The inside the distance is minus 320, the minus 800 pre-flop. There's nothing, the minus 500 to the under, like, and you can't even be sure that he gets it done in under 1.5, where you probably get your best value, and at plus 140 in round one. Who knows? Qileng could, you know, be tough in that round. And then you're not even getting good value in round two at plus 275. You got to be kidding me. So this fight all in all is there's no value involved. I do think Rosas rolls though. Good DFS play.
All right, next fight of the night, 125-pound division. We got Edgar Chairez, 11-5 versus Joshua Van, 10-2. This one might piss off the Mexican fans. I feel like Joshua Van is probably going to win a decision here. I think Edgar Chairez is he's been winning fights, but he's been losing the whole fight until he snatches that submission. And I don't think he is going to be able to submit Joshua Van. Obviously, there's red flags on Joshua Van. He was just finished quite brutally not too long ago, but still, like, he's a young guy. I don't think his durability is going to be shot or anything like that. I think he will be the one marching forward. He will be the better striker. He will be landing and winning the minutes. And I do not think he's going to get submitted. And then on the other side, Edgar Chairez, he should be a tough guy, Mexican. I don't think he's necessarily going to get knocked out. So I think Joshua Van probably wins the decision. I do think even his money line does have some value. I think it's like minus 200 or something like that. I think Joshua Van is a pretty good pick here, personally. What do you think?
Me too. I think he's the better striker. He's more crisper. Yeah, people say he gets brutally knocked out, but you got to remember that Charles Johnson is not a bad striker. Charles Johnson doesn't have a bad, he might look tired, but he's always there. Charles Johnson is resilient, and Charles Johnson is good. So him losing was probably good for him because, I think he might have been gifted a decision or two earlier in his career. So him losing is just it might him take this fight seriously, more seriously, sorry. Chairez, not a good, I don't feel like he's a good striker by any means. He's a little sloppy on the feet. He's not technical. He's there to be hit. Ground game's okay. His best attribute, he's resilient as hell. He lost a decision to Tatsuro Taira. And that what makes me think that Joshua Van's money line, you shouldn't even go with it. Just go with the decision line. If Chairez is not like losing to Tyra on the ground, and even, I don't think he's getting knocked out because of a Mexican chin. So plus 125, I feel is like super good value. And Van, I think he beats him everywhere. I think he's a better wrestler. I think he's a better striker. He's more well-rounded. And once he doesn't get submitted on some like freak roll up, should be good, man.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Women's 115-pound division. We got Yasmin Yarogi, 11-1 versus Ketlin Souza, 14-4. Yasmin should cruise here. I mean, she should be able to be a step ahead all night on the feet. She's the better striker. She's quicker. She's just the better fighter. Obviously, her one loss, she was starched very quickly. So people are going to fear that maybe she doesn't have a chin. And Ketlin Souza, the one thing she does have is she does have power. She does hit hard. She has more knockouts than most for a women's fighter, but she hasn't got those knockouts since 2001. She does have 8 knockouts. It's a lot of knockouts, but she hasn't got them in the last few years. So I do not think she's going to knock Yasmin out. I think Yasmin's going to be a step ahead. I think Yasmin wins the fight. Just I don't like the minus 450. I will not be betting the fight, but the pick is definitely Yasmin. What do you think?
Minus 450 is wide for a women's fight. Her decision lines ain't half bad at minus 155. So I think that's the way you go. I think she's the better striker, the more technical striker. I think she throws more volume. I think she has more variety. I don't know if I really think this is going to hit the ground, to be honest with you. And Yasmin has fought a little bit better competition, I would say. Her fight with Lucindo, I feel like Lucindo might be better than Ketlin Souza. And that was a really good fight. And she outvolumed her. And Lucindo's a pretty good fighter and a pretty good volume fighter at that. So if she can outvolume her, I think she has the volume to win this fight because Ketlin's, like you said, more of a power puncher. Um, hey, she gets there though, she could be good. I mean, that's the thing. Like, but Ketlin also doesn't starch people like Denise Gomez did in that fight with Jaregui. She doesn't shoot out hot like that. She's not that type of fighter. You know what I mean? So. And that I also think works in Yasmin's favor. If they're gonna just kickbox for 3 rounds, then that might be your play here. I don't even know what the over. I'd like to go to the distance is minus 275, and I think that might be the best value on this whole fight because I don't see either of them knocking each other out.
All right. Moving on to the next fight, we got rising contender Manuel Torres, 15-2 versus Ignacio Bahamondes, 15-5, 155-pound weight division. I hit Manuel Torres early. I have $100 on him from a couple weeks ago when he was like a plus 140 or something like that. So I do still have $100 on him. I did like him as an underdog. I was surprised he was the underdog. I think he has a ton of finishing equity. Pretty much, I think every single one of his wins is a finish, or if not, 99% of them are finishes. Um, and then I started watching Bahamondes, and he just has a way of kind of turning things into a grind, and maybe he can use some grappling even here. I don't know. Like I don't think he's gonna want to play a lengthy kickboxing match here. I think Torres hits too hard, even if Bahamondes could technically maybe be better. I don't know. I think it's too risky. I don't know. I'm not overly confident in it. I like the Torres as the dog. Now that he's switched to the favorite, I'm not loving it. I'm not overly confident. But he is a funner fighter for me to watch just because he's finishing everybody so quickly. And that's no knock on Bahamondes. The guy has a ton of fans as well. I'm on the Torres side. I have money on him, so I got to stick with it, but I'm not overly confident. What do you think?
I don't think this is gonna hit the ground at all. Um, People are faulting Torres for that pull of the guillotine in his last fight. Hey man, if you're gonna get it, you better get it. If you're gonna pull it, you better hit it. That's what I look at. Like, I'm not gonna fault him for doing that. They're like, oh, that's not good fight IQ. Well, he won the fight. Let's just be at that. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, he hits harder. I just looking though, he's only at a 2 inch reach advantage. So for all the height that Bahamondes has, he only's got 2 inches on this guy. So I don't know, man. This is two lanky fighters. I don't think Bahamondes is gonna take him out, as in like take him down. And Torres, for all intents and purposes, also has, I feel like, the grappling equity here because he at least showed that he is willing to go for some sort of grappling. And if he wants to grind him up against the side of the cage, then go ahead. I also think he has the power advantage. So you don't really know if he has the volume advantage because, well, he doesn't quite go that long in fights, so you can't really tell. But he's never really looked fucking any tired to me. He's never looked gassed to me. And they'll be like, "Oh, you haven't seen a second round." Well, whatever. But like, you got to go with what you know, right? So I know he's seen some second rounds in the past. obviously guys like that kind of tire out, but he's never death gassed, never tired, like in the sense where he's not throwing with power. So I feel like his power can go all the way to the third round if it has to. I just don't know about Bahamondes' chin. Like, is it gonna crack? Is it not gonna crack? I mean, that's the biggest question, right? Like the fights that he's lost, I don't know if, no one's really cracked him like this. So this is the first time he's gonna go up against a guy like this, right? So his losses were to Ludovic Klein and John Makdessi, but they were by decision. Who knows? I like Torres. There's a little buyback coming on him right now. So hopefully, excuse me, this gets the board even money and then I'll hit him again. So yeah. I like Torres. I think the power is the big equalizer here.
All right. Moving on, we got former title contender Irene Aldana, 15-7 versus Norma Dumont, 11-2 in the 135-pound division. Um, very tough fight to predict. I feel like this is a pick 'em fight. I could see Norma Dumont potentially using grappling to win the fight, scoring some takedowns, riding her out from the top position. Not finishing the fight by any means. I see this going this distance personally. I don't see any finishes here at all. So maybe that's a prop you could look at. I haven't seen that number yet. Um, Irene Aldana just scares me because I've seen her be so low volume, and I've seen other fights where she had great volume and she was aggressive. So I don't know what Irene Aldana I'm going to get. I just feel like she's already been at the top. I don't know how motivated she is. I think like trajectories are changing. I think Norman Dumont's kind of going up. Irene Aldana might be kind of going down. Not a confidence pick at all. I'm not betting it, so don't take my pick for go bet on it. But I'm leaning Norma Dumont by decision. But gun to my head, I'm picking fight goes the distance. Like I think it's going the distance. What do you think?
Irene Aldana definitely will have the volume here. For sure, because Norma Dumont's not a volume puncher. And Irene Aldana only loses two grapplers. She lost to Holly Holm, where she got taken down, I think, 5 times. And she lost to Amanda Nunez. And I think she got taken down 6 times in that. So those are her two losses. So, what has Norma Dumont been doing a little bit more in her last few fights? She's been really pushing the grappling, right? So, I mean, that's the thing. I think the game plan for her is going to be grappling, grappling, grappling. And if Irene Aldana can stop the takedowns, she'll probably win the fight. But I just don't think she does. When she's out grappled, she's out grappled. She shows a pretty good takedown defense, but I don't think that really matters. Like her takedown defense is at 75. But when you got her down, that's her kryptonite. So those fighters that could take her down, and I think Norma Dumont and her big booty is gonna be able to just like wrestle her, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's it. I think if this is on the feet, it's Irene, but I just don't think she'll be able to stop Norma. So I'm leaning Norma. I wish she had some more dog money on her. It's freaking even at -110 each side both ways now. The decision prop is even at +130, +140, so that's gross. And the fight to go the distance is -425, which is also nasty. But I'll probably play Norma Dumont in something because I think she's going to use grappling because she has been.
All right. Moving on to the main card. If you haven't already, please like, please subscribe. We do appreciate it. First fight of the main card. We've got another Mexican fighter. We got Ronaldo Rodrigues, 16-2 versus Odie Osbourne, 12-7. These are two finishers. I could see another finish here, to be honest. I think, I can't say Rodriguez is necessarily fighting the better guys. That's not necessarily true. Odie Osbourne has been in there with Manel Kopp. He has been in there with some big names. But I like Rodriguez's more recent win higher than Odie Osbourne's more recent wins. So I think Rodriguez is going to win the fight. I think, again, it's potentially a setup fight for the first fight of the main card. But Osbourne can crack. He can. But I don't think Odie Osbourne is going to be able to submit Rodriguez. I mean, he does have some submissions, but he's not going to submit him. I think he only has a puncher's chance here, and I don't think he's going to get it. Give me Rodriguez to win the fight. What do you think?
I think they're setting him up to win the fight, to be honest with you. I just think he hits with power, and when he's on the ground, I think he's a pretty good grappler. Ode Osbourne, I'm not sure what he does well. it's
He can
tough.
strike okay.
Like he's okay at everything, but like nothing, not good at, at one thing, right? Is he a great striker? No, he's a good striker. I think Rodrigues is a more technical striker with more power. Um, is he a good wrestler? I think neither of them are great wrestlers. Rodrigues has shown that he can be taken down in previous fights, and even in that last fight against Bondar, he got taken down 4 times, right? So he can be taken down, but does Ode Osbourne have a lot of good wrestling? I don't think he has great wrestling, to be quite honest with you. And now, like, what about the ground game? I think Rodrigues is a better grappler. So, you know, the odds are good for the fight. I think Rodrigues should be a slight favorite. It being in Mexico, I don't think Ode Osbourne was going to finish him, and Ode Osbourne does sort of like gas towards the end of fights and slow down. So, give me Rodrigues. I think he has more ways to win.
All right, next fight of the night. Actually, not a bad fight stylistically. We got Daniel Zellhuber, 15-1 versus Esteban Ribovics, 13-1. Um, Zellhuber, good striker, not a bad grappler by any means either. Ribovics, good striker. I think the odds might be a little bit wide here because Ribovics is no slouch. He absolutely can crack. I don't know what Daniel's game plan is going to be here. I don't know if he's going to want to use his long frame and strike with him. I mean, maybe he finds success doing that, but it might be risky, or if he wants to implement the grappling here. Um, I don't know what it is. I know Zellhuber, he's come through time and time again, whatever, but I don't fully trust the guy. Uh, I don't like these odds. These odds are too wide for me to play Zellhuber personally. I think there is value on Ribovics. I'm not playing. Honestly, truth be told, there's only a couple fights I'm playing, and this is not one of them. But I think that there is possible value on Esteban, but I will not be playing it. What do you think?
I think they're both strikers. Ribovics, um, his kryptonite is being taken down, but he doesn't get held down. I'll give you that. I think Loic took him down 11 times, didn't hold him down. So he does have a pretty good get up game. Now the only issue I have with not laying a hammer on friggin' Ribovics here because the odds are so wide with two strikers that are, you know, I feel like Ribovics can match volume and match power with Zellhuber. Probably might actually have the better power than Zellhuber, but Zellhuber might be able to matador him because he has an 8-inch reach advantage, right? So if he has an 8-inch reach advantage, how well is he going to use that reach advantage, or how well does Esteban actually get into the pocket, right? So that's my main thing. That's where this fight's going to be won. It's can Ribovics get into the pocket, or can Zellhuber hold him off with range, right? So if Ribovics is able to get in the pocket, I think he might win this fight because I think he does hold the power edge here. I really do. And so they're both pretty good strikers, actually. Both are technical. Zellhuber's just a long, lanky guy, right? So he's been outworked before. He's been outworked before by a smaller man in Troy Ogden, right? So
Yeah.
I know Trey's a fucking grappler and everything, but like he's still able to get on the inside and shit, right? So like he's been worked before. So I don't know, man. These odds are scaring me off of Zellhuber for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
And
dog or pass.
in that Trey Ogden fight, he was outstruck by 20 plus strikes. And Trey Ogden only took him down 1 time, right? So it wasn't a Trey Ogden hump fest, right? So that's actually telling in that fight too. So hey, man, Riovic's a tough guy, shown that he can get up from 11 takedowns and still fight a fight. So no, I'm gonna go with the dog here because that's where the value is, and I think he actually has a pretty good damn chance here.
Yeah, I agree. All right, that takes us to our featured fight. We got Brian T. City Ortega, 16-3 versus Diego Mullet Lopes, 25-6. I'm rooting for Lopes big time. I see all the people picking him, and I fully agree that he could potentially starch Brian early. Like this kid comes out hard. He's fast, he's explosive, but he's really not that great of a striker. If you watch those fights, he is sloppy. And I mean, obviously he gassed a little bit last fight, but that's not fair. It was a different weight class, change of opponents, whatever. Um, I just feel like if it goes late, I could see Brian Ortega taking over late in the fight. And then also, when have you seen Brian Ortega get chinned? So you're like, it's got to go late, right? Because Lopes shouldn't be submitting Brian Ortega. I mean, Ortega's a grappling wizard, so he shouldn't submit him. And he's got a pretty friggin' iron chin, so I mean, you're like, he's probably not going to knock him out. So that tells you that the fight should go late. And if the fight goes late, I think Brian Ortega can find a lot of success. I think Ortega probably has the better hands if the fight gets stretched out and the pace becomes slower. That said, even though I think his hands are better more technically, if the fight gets drawn out, he's going to be in a lot of danger early because he is the slower guy. I mean, Diego Lopes is the way quicker, way faster, way stronger athlete. So it could just be a quick shot and swarm him early and it could be over. I hope Lopes wins. I'm not a fan of Brian Ortega, but I think there is some value on Brian Ortega at these odds. I almost feel like it's a live bet situation. If it makes it to round two or round three, then you flip and you hit Brian Ortega. But I'm rooting for Lopes, and I hope he continues his winning ways. And I would love to see him start Ortega early. What do you think?
I was on TC last time, but I can't. My problem is I can't. He didn't want to cut weight. He didn't get to the fight. He didn't do like I can't. Like I don't know where his head's at in this fight. Is Lopes is not a great striker, but he's probably. I mean, what does Brian have the 1-2 that he's shown that he's gone better over his career, but it's not amazing. He might be a better wrestler overall, maybe. And I don't think this. I don't know how much wrestling is going to happen. I mean, Lopes actually struck pretty good with Ige in that last fight, but Dan Ige is a way better striker than Brian Ortega, and that change of opponent was a big deal, right? I mean, it's a tough fight to call. I do like Lopes in this spot now because I just don't know what shape Brian's going to show up in. I just don't. Their grappling's going to counter each other out, and I feel like they're both tough as shit. So the odds are a little bit wider than last time though, too, as well. So tough. It's tough. I'm gonna go with Lopes. I'm gonna go with the younger, more hungrier lion in this case. I have a problem about Brian being heady and not being ready. I didn't even know I set that one up, but yeah. Basically, that's why
Yeah, I think Diego's just a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, younger.
yeah, I agreed.
All right, moving on to the co-main event. We have got the trilogy for the UFC Flyweight Championship. We got Alexa Grasso, 16-13-1 versus Valentino Shevchenko, 23-4-1. Last fight ended in a controversial draw. Most people had Valentina winning the fight. Obviously, she got 10-8'd in the last round, and here we are with the draw and the trilogy fight. I rewatched that fight this morning, actually. And a couple things stood out to me. Um, Number one, so before watching that fight, I was all over Alexa Grasso to win this fight because I just had this thing I've noticed lately with Valentina that it seems like she doesn't like to get hit. Like she came to the UFC as a striker, and I've just noticed like the last 4 or 5 fights, she has not wanted to strike anymore. She has wanted to use her grappling. She doesn't react as good to getting hit as she used to in the past. What got her to the show, she came as a ferocious, ferocious striker. I don't think she really wants to strike with Alexa Grasso or anyone for that matter. I just feel like she doesn't react to getting hit the way she used to. So she doesn't like to strike. And the second thing I noticed was Alexa Grasso can be taken down quite easily. So I think the takedowns are there for Valentina. So absolutely there is a path for Valentina to win this fight. But then the thing that really surprised me was how easily Valentina would lose dominant position. We're talking mounts, we're talking back takes, we're talking every time she had a super dominant position, she got reversed. Like it was insane to me how a fighter of this caliber could give up those positions time and time and time again. So I find myself leaning Alexa Grasso strictly on just the durability. Like to me, Valentina has to grind this out, and she can because Grasso's takedown defense is not great. So yes, she could grind her out for 5 rounds, but she just gets reversed too easily. She doesn't like to strike. At some point, she's not going to like something she gets hit with. I'm on Alexa Grasso, and I don't even like Alexa Grasso, and I do like Valentina Shevchenko. Forever, I thought she was the GOAT. I thought she was better than Amanda Nunes. I thought she got robbed in the one fight. I thought she was the more skilled fighter. She was just the smaller girl. So I was all in on Valentina being the best women's fighter in the world. But right now, current Valentina that I think doesn't like to get hit anymore, I'm favoring Alexa Grasso in this matchup. What do you think?
Tough one. Tough one because she was winning that first one quite handily until she got reversed, right? So that's that. The second one, I thought she won as well. The 10-8 to Grasso in the last round was kind of whack. Anyway, I just don't know, whatever. The judges on crack. But because if that was a 10-9, then Valentina takes it back. So I think this is still going to be a close fight. I think the grappling is the edge. Valentina does push it a little bit more, but her striking doesn't suck anymore. And yeah, she does. She doesn't look like she wants to get hit anymore, like you said. Um, but she can still take it, and she can still dish it. And I think she wants this one because that fight was whack. I know she knows that she could have won that fight, so I think she wants this one. These girls are pretty close, and Grasso's the first. I don't know what the odds were last time. I can't remember. And was she an underdog? I don't think she was an
I
underdog.
think they were all like pick. I think the last fight and this fight, they're very close to evens.
Well, I feel like this is the first time she's like a real dog to Grasso because it's the first time everyone doesn't believe in her, and then I'm like, but I don't feel like she's done. I don't, and yeah, maybe I'm betting with my heart here, but I really do think the grappling is going to shine, and she has shown that she can grind people out, right? So, yeah, give me Valentina Shevchenko at plus 110. Sometimes you can get her at plus 130 at different spots. So give me Shevchenko as the underdog here at plus money.
All right. I hope you're right. I hope you are right, and I am rooting for her. I just the aging fighters haven't been paying off for me very well lately. And that brings us to our main event. We got Sugar Sean O'Malley, 18-1. I was about to say 16-1. 18-1 versus Merab Dvalishvili, 17-4. Um, I think whoever wins this fight is going to win it like one-sidedly or like or definitively. I think it's going to be a finish. I've already thrown over $200 on. For me, this is actually, and it's not fantastic value, but for me, I like it. My if you had what's your favorite bet of the card, it's that this main event does not go the distance. You're getting minus 110, so dead even odds basically. I'm choosing this fight to not go the distance for two reasons. Number one, if Sean O'Malley wins, he's not winning by grinding Merab. He's winning by knocking Merab out. Number two, yes, Merab is a grinder. People think he's a decisionator, but I don't think Sean O'Malley is a good nail, and he might not even need to be a nail here. But if Merab can take him down and maul him, he is going to finish Sean O'Malley. If Merab can't take him down and maul him, Sean O'Malley is going to knock him out and finish him. So I absolutely love that bet. I feel like quadrupling down on it. I might up this to $1,000. Like I seriously might. I'll show you my bet slips. I've put a few hundred on it already. I like this fight. Does not go the distance. Covers both sides. And yeah, I think whoever wins is going to do this inside the distance and definitively, I do not think this will be a 5 round Marab hump fest. I don't think Sean Malley could take 5 rounds of that, and he might not even need to. He might not even get a takedown. Either way, whoever wins is going to do it inside the distance, and I think it'll be very definitive. What do you think?
I think it goes the distance, but you know me. I've always been a go the distance kind of guy.
So you're on Marab then?
Yeah, well, I know Sean can be taken. So when Sean fought Aljo, I thought obviously the game plan is Aljo is such a good ground game, such a strong wrestler that he'll take him down and he'll just submit him. Sean showed good hips in that fight, and Aljo, I don't know, is he a good wrestler? Because he cooked Calvin Cater down in that last fight and just mauled him. So the only reason I don't like the fight to finish is because the one time Marab was hit and Marab was dropped, he got up and he was visibly rocked. I believe that was against Marlon Moraes. He was
Oh, I got
visibly
rocked 10
rocked.
times in that fight.
Yeah, he was visibly rocked, but he fought right through it. And yeah, but I can see your point about Sean getting mauled on the ground. But I feel like I've seen some footage. This ground game's not too bad. He'll survive, and he'll just want to try to get back up to the feet. So yeah, I think this is Marab doing Marab things, and I don't know. It's actually really close. It's really close. It's really close, man.
If he can do to Sean O'Malley what he did to Piotr Jan, there's no way Sean O'Malley's hanging around for 5 rounds.
You
There's
don't think so? No, but Sean
no
O'Malley's not a
fucking.
quitter though, man. He's never been a quitter.
He's never been fucking in a dog fight like that. Like I don't know,
Right.
man.
So like, but like still, I mean, who knew Cheeto was gonna take 45 punches to face? Marab's got the same chin as Cheeto, and maybe not as super good. But you think no, you don't think Marab eats that knee that Cheeto ate?
I don't know. I wouldn't say his chin's as good as Cheeto. That's for damn sure. Merab's been rocked a few times.
Been rocked but never knocked out, right? So I'm gonna go with the stats to say he's never been knocked out. And I believe Sean's never been fucking tapped. So I don't feel like
I'm
Marab's
gonna
knocking.
say, listen, I've been wrong so many times, and you could be right. Like, I'm not like we all know the game we play here, but I'm gonna say this is my most fucking confident bet in a long time. And if you bet the fucking fight doesn't go the distance with me and it fucking loses, you can unsubscribe from this fucking channel. But if it fucking finishes the way I say it's gonna finish, I want you to grab fucking everybody's phone around you and fucking subscribe because this fight is not going the distance. There's going to be a finish. I'm gonna fucking make bank on this fight. I'm super confident. I love the odds. I don't think it's going the distance. I don't think there's any fucking way it's going the distance.
Really not. I saw the variables in my favor. Just I
Hey,
don't
A Train's gonna be right. Everybody's gonna hate me, but I don't know.
know.
That's what I'm feeling. I'm
I
feeling
mean,
it.
I think, like you said, like Sean's never seen someone maul him like Marab and just like come at him with but Aljo's been touched up before, right? So we've seen Aljo been touched up before, right? So whatever.
Honestly, even Marab inside the distance is plus 650. There's pretty good value on that too, if you're on the Marab side.
Inside the distance is plus 650.
Double method.
That's not bad, actually.
It's fucking amazing.
That's pretty good. But yeah, whatever. I mean, I just think it goes longer, but whatever. Hey,
What's your most confident pick of the card, or what's your favorite bet of the card? You already know mine. I'm just wondering what yours is.
the Joshua Van, the Joshua Van by decision. I don't think he should can lose a second one in a row, and I just don't think Chairez is that well, it's not as good as what I've seen from Van in the past. So I'm gonna write that one off because Charles Johnson's actually a good fighter. So I think Joshua Van plus over 1.5, Joshua Van by decision. Probably that's my most confident pick.
I agree with all those. And Joshua Van was winning that Charles Johnson fight 2 rounds to nothing before getting finished in the third. Joshua Van is a good fighter, and I absolutely do like that pick.
Yeah.
There you have it, guys. That's our UFC The Sphere breakdown and betting tips. Uh, let's smash some bets. Please like, please subscribe, drop us a comment, drop me your favorite bet. Let me know what you agree with or disagree with, and we will see you for the next one. Have a good one.